I think it's important to note that among all the religions of the world, the Abrahamic religions are the most concerned with the entire society, particularly the poor. This concern starts with the Israelites, and we may recall that whole religion starts with a slave rebellion and the freedom of the slaves from Egyptian tyranny and oppression. In subsequent centuries, then, those Israelites will maintain that social awareness, and that thread of concern for the poor will extend throughout Christianity and the religion of Islam, which also exhorts people to free slaves. Now, we know Jews, Christians, and Muslims don't always follow their rules. That's not the fault of the founders. But let's take a look at some key differences among the three religions with regard to giving to the poor. We can look at the ancient Proverbs, the wisdom of Solomon, where we see this exhortation to help the poor. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. And in Deuteronomy, for there will never cease to be poor in the land. Therefore I command you, open your hand wide to your brother, to the needy, and to the poor in your land. Now in this case, we don't have an explicit commandment to give to the poor, only an exhortation to seriously consider their plight. And we read further in Deuteronomy that though Jewish people are to give freely, certainly, that every third year, a tenth of their crops should be given to priests with no property, the poor, orphans, and widows. So that's 10% of their crops every 30 years. With Christianity, we get some extreme statements by Jesus about giving up all you have to follow him, but that's hardly a reasonable thing to do in the modern world for those who are not incredible adepts. For Jesus, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or Christian or Muslim. Whenever you give to the poor or anyone down and out, the least in society, you have done it to Jesus too. And famously, he gives this advice to the rich man who wants to follow him. If you would be perfect, go and sell what you possess and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come follow me. So Jesus says many things castigating the rich, but nowhere does he command all followers to give to the poor explicitly. Paul the Apostle talks about giving to the church, but the church isn't exactly the same thing as poor people you don't know. With Islam, we have an explicit statement that everyone with any means should give 2.5% of all they have to the poor. This is considered to be lying around money that you're not needing to sustain yourself. It's in your bank, and out of those savings, you give 2.5% to the poor. According to Ibn Mundir of the Hanafi school, Zakat, or righteous charity giving, should only be given to Muslims. But the three other schools claim that Zakat can be given to non-Muslims whose hearts have been softened and they're open to Islam. A third opinion that Zakat should only be given when there are no Muslims around to give to, and a fourth opinion says that Zakat can be given to the dhimmis and the non-dhimmis, or Muslims and non-Muslims equally. So, in short, for all three religions, for Judaism, giving is a tzedakah, or a righteousness, or in Islam, sadaqah, cognate term, righteousness, and in Christianity as well, giving to the poor is extolled. And the thing is, I just can't see of anything like it among the Chinese or Indian religions. So really, this is a distinct and fabulous feature, I think, for a more peaceful world, a gift of insight from the Abrahamic religions.